Apologies, we're about 15 minutes late. We had a bit of internet connectivity issues, but we're glad we're back on live. And has it been with us all? And I know there are quite a bit of burning issues out there, but I'll attempt to just speak to a few of them in the next few minutes, and hopefully we also get to take some of your concerns. But let me mention that we've got a very dynamic social media communication channels, and these channels are being manned almost literally 24/7. So I think you really can reach us. I want to join us to really make use of these various channels to verify and authenticate information. We are living in an era right now where fake news is now a global trend, and I do not think Nigeria is immune from that global trend. So please, let's not fall for all sorts of fake news. We do try to notify all of you, our volunteers, and those of you who are not our volunteers, who are the general citizenry or our core stakeholders, about all that we do and our proceedings. We try to notify you in advance or just as when it's commencing. So please always try to authenticate any and every information through our social media channels, Instagram, especially WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, what have you. So that would help us a lot. And then also remember, we've got the support emails. For those of you already in the program, there is a support email. For those of you also applicants, there's always been the apply email that you can find on the top right corner of the website, which is www.npower.gov.ng. So I want to encourage us as well to please use those support emails. Try not to, I notice a few of you are always wanting to look for physical offices, whether it's offices in your states, going to bombard your focal persons, or looking, today some of you came from Nasarawa down to Abuja, looking for the ministry office or the NPower office. The offices exist, so it's not as though the offices exist for some of your colleagues that have come to Situation Room. You do know that this is a serious investment, serious business, and there are clearly institutions that are behind the scenes working to make this a success. But where we get a lot of reports from focal persons, our state liaisons, and many times they don't have the answers to the questions they're asking. Because most times you, as a beneficiary, you even get to know first or more than they would do. They would only know top line summary information, but it's expected that you will know and you should have access to the details. Again, let me also encourage you to please always sign on to your MPVN portal. You came onto this program not by any physical means, not by knowing anybody, not by any manual application. You all are in this program because you applied online. You all are in this program because you took your online test, your assessment online. And you all have been in this program because you're also notified, primarily online, supported then by SMS and many other ways by which you also spread information. But please, primarily, this is a graduate program. To be in this program, we expect you to at least have concluded your OND, which is a 2-year diploma. So please, I want you all to rise up and live up to the task of a graduate. We expect our graduates, especially if you're going to be relevant 21st century graduate, that is seeking to use this NPower platform as an employability platform. We expect you to really align yourself and conform yourself to the standards as expected of a 21st century graduate. And one of those clear standards is your ability to relate with the IT world. Smartphones, and most of you now, at least over 100,000 of you out of the batch A, 116,000 have received your devices. As I got the report today, about 102,000 of you now across country in batch A have received your devices. So you don't even have any excuse anymore to say you cannot get online. On those devices, you don't even need to sign on online to be able to access your portal. The devices are already programmed to your portal, and you have some level of free data courtesy of MTN that ties you up to, I think, 1 gig every month for the next 1 year. So please, there's really no excuse for you to be running helter-skelter. Any information and every information that you require is at your fingertips. When you go with your papers, like some of you came today, went to the Ministry of Budget and Planning, have not been paid. They don't have that information to sort you out. When you all bombard my private email, I can't sort you out. I still have to send the same mail you sent to me. I still have to forward to the same support email. And then the technical team, they are the one who have access to the entire data that has all of your history on the portal, and then they work with you to resolve these challenges. So many times when you send emails to my personal email or any other personal email, whether it's that of the special advisor or it's that of your focal persons, you know what you're really doing? You're delaying yourself more. Because once you send the email to the support email, you realize therefore that you've directed your email to the appropriate channel, and there are greater chances that you will receive quicker resolution than when you send to me, and then due to work pressure, it may take me 24, 48 hours sometimes 96 hours before I'm able to catch up on my emails and then respond. And what am I doing again? Forwarding back to the same email you ought to have forwarded to in the first place. So please, please, as we mark your 1 year in NPower, by the end of November, those of you in the first batch, 200,000 of you will be marking your first year in NPower. The goal for this first year is that we reduce and almost eradicate every manual process that we've had to do, that we've had to do in the course of managing this first encounter. So please ensure that with your devices now, you can log in. Those of you that are in batch B or those of you still in batch A, there are about 14,000, 15,000 of you yet to pick up your devices. I mean, you have your smartphones. You've worked now for almost a year. And I know that, with still just about 15, 20,000, you can get a good smartphone. So please live up to the ethics, live up to the standards, live up to the qualities of what a 21st century graduate should look like. And because those really are the employability skills that your prospective employers post your NPower days are looking for. If you don't believe me, I want to give you an assignment. Google 21st century graduate after this this live video, and I think maybe you should interact with us. What are the things you find? What is a 21st century graduate? The other thing is, if you also don't believe Google, perhaps you should also look into speak to some of your colleagues who have been graced to have resigned because they have gotten jobs in more permanent jobs in other companies. Ask them, what do your employers tell them about a 21st century graduate? I think once you begin to prepare yourself, because like I've always said to you from day one, you need to count backwards. In counting backwards right now, you know that for those of you in batch 1, you have just another 12 more months thereabout in the program, and then we'll begin to talk about your exit opportunities. We will not wait till that time. Once we all celebrate the new year and we all welcome ourselves into 2018, which I believe by the grace of God you all and we all will celebrate peacefully, and we will really begin to intensify efforts around exit opportunities. I'm very happy for a lot of you who have already formed cooperatives. I saw what happened in Delta. Those of you in the agro team in Delta that formed some cooperatives. I see what some of you are doing with your farms, with the farms that you're leasing, your rice farms. I see so those are really steps in the right direction, and will continue to encourage you to do that. I will spend a little more time talking about the 2017 application process, but before I do that, let me just give some updates. I already spoke about devices, and I told you that for devices, those of you in batch A, 116,000 of you, we now, MTN's report as of yesterday, 102,000 of you now have picked your devices. That number would have also increased because I know today some of you also have picked your devices. It is our hope that between now and the end of the month, every one of you will pick your device. Having said that, we have also gotten some reports that they send notices, send SMS. Some of you don't come to pick up your device. There will be a cutoff time, and after which the devices may then have to report back to the state capital or wherever it is. And if you're still interested, you would then have to go to those locations to pick them up. Still on devices, some of you have attempted to pick up a device, but you are told your device are on hold. Well, let me clarify. What we mean by device hold is clearly once you're on payment hold. Once you're on suspension and you automatically go on payment hold, your devices will also be on device hold if we are fortunate that you have not yet picked up your device before you went on suspension. But if you've picked up your device and you happen to go on suspension, well, you would only have a payment hold. Once you are exonerated from suspension, or you are and your payment hold is released automatically as well, your device hold would also be released. Now, for some of you who are not on suspension, but you were told that your devices are on hold, well, that's primarily for some of you in the NAGRO space. It was much, we know that a few states had not yet carried out their NAGRO step-down training. And as you carry out those trainings, we release your devices. So it would be good when you say your device is on hold. It would always be good for us to know why, maybe explain to us why exactly, the device is on hold. Or on the other hand, I'm also aware that sometimes when you go to the center, because we ship all these devices through MTN, and sometimes it's in their own state warehouse, and perhaps when you get there that day, that brand did not come to the shop or whatever. So that does not mean your device is on hold. That sometimes has to do with logistics issues between MTN and our partners. But by and large, those have been resolved over time. But device hold is basically once you're on payment hold, you have a device hold. If you're not on payment hold, but you fall into category of NAGRO, that you haven't yet you haven't carried out your step down training yet, then we've also put some of your devices on hold. But if you have a case of device, we'll just send an email to the support and they will let you know what the category is and why. Some of you also talked about Speedstar. Yes, Speedstar is one of those devices that I think arrived the latest, and so it is taking quite a bit of time before shipping them out, but I think most of them are shipped out now. So you should start getting your notifications regards your pickup. Attendance on your devices. Well, yes, I told you, for those of you that attended some of the interactive sessions I had while on the field, I had mentioned to you that your devices are critical to attendance and they are critical as a work tool for you. So I know that some of you are experiencing challenges, maybe in marking the attendance on your device. Not a problem. The reality is that by the fact that you are in your location, we do have a way by which your device already is marking your attendance, and we get through the GPS mapping. So, but don't. If you're still experiencing any challenge, very soon the technical team will reach out to let you know. But what is important is we expect you to be at your primary place of assignment, and once you are there with your device, you would automatically have been marked. But please understand that our monitoring teams will never let you know when they are coming. And as some of you continue to see, you don't know when we come, and you don't know how we know when we go ahead and put you on payment hold due to being absent at your primary place of assignment. And having said that, talking about primary place of assignment, I'm also aware now that quite a lot of you are in other employment, especially government employment and local governments, and yet you are still in the NPower program, trying to run some collusions with some of the inspectors or those of some of our partners who are to monitor your attendance. I want to advise you, if you're in that category, I want to advise you to please resign. First and foremost, you are not by so doing, you are not being patriotic to Nigeria. You do know clearly that this is a program that is a lifeline the president extended to every unemployed graduate. There are people I read online, and I empathize with one of our applicants who's been 5 years unemployed, and yet again this year he was not able to get into the program. Now that slot could have been taken by him, and yet you are in the local government in your state earning income, and you still wanted to hold on to a slot that really does not belong to you. Let me let you know, you are not earning that NPower stipend. You are stealing the stipend. Stipends are earned when you work for the earnings. But when you don't work for an earnings and you earn it, then you are stealing. So please let me advise us. We will come for you.